Again, thanks for joining the Disability Digest How to Get Approved for Disability webinar. So a few things I want to cover with you from the beginning is we have been working and providing a free membership advocacy services to the disabled since 2006, and we've had the fortunate ability to work with like 160,000 people with all different areas related to disability, but specifically to getting approved is we've helped over 11,000 people get their benefits directly, which is over $12 million flowing into individuals' bank accounts. I don't say that to brag or boast, just to share with you that so that you have the confidence that, you know, we've done this for a while. We've put together some information from experts in the industry. We've gathered a lot of information from individuals that we've helped get approved that we can share with you to shave months off of your disability approval time, or maybe even help you understand that you just don't have a case, and you know, so you don't waste your time. So that's what we're going to cover here today. So what we do as a business, our goal here is to, and I'm just kind of covering what's up on the screen right here, is to provide you with a trusted, easy-to-use membership. It's a free resource that helps people get their disability, and then once you're approved, we help people maximize their disability benefits. And the whole time that we do this, our focus is on generating a profit, although the membership is free, so that we can create income opportunities for people with disabilities. This website is mostly run by individuals that are disabled. I'm not disabled. I'm fortunate to be an able-bodied person. But I have a staff of, just in a meeting with 11 individuals that work on a certain part of our business that are all on disability. They work here part-time. So if you get approved, have the desire to supplement your income and make a difference, we'd love to help you with that. So a few things about your membership before we get into the getting approved part so that you clearly understand how to use it. Just follow along on my screen here. In the top right-hand corner, there is a members area. And the members area is really the focal point of the key resources that we provide our members. And it has a video at the top, but I'm just going to skim through it. And it's broken down into sections. It starts with section 1 and goes all the way down to 9. And it's the key categories that members like you have concerns about or questions about. First one is what we're going to cover today. It's getting approved for disability. Additional courses that we provide are how to maximize your benefits, which is commonly for people that are getting a disability check. They want to understand if they're getting all that they're entitled to, or if they can work, supplement their income, keep the benefits, how much they can make. And if they can do that, then go on to section 3 and find out a way to do it. Housing, Medicare, insurance, treatment options, how to reduce your medical expenses. So, one moment. One moment, folks. I'll be right with you. Got somebody at the door. Hang on. Sorry, folks. I work from home, and my daughter just came home from school, and I locked the door on her. So I had to lock the door and lock the door so I could open it. So just moving on to just explaining the key points how you can use your membership. There's a members area is a place that you should definitely make note of so that you can just go to any website in the top right-hand corner, click on the members area, and find the resources that could help you even with your disability approval process. Okay, so as we get into helping you understand what you need to do to get approved for disability, I want you to kind of load up your questions and start feeding them to me. And here's how you can do that. If you look at the GoToMeeting software that is running on your computer, and you scroll down, there's a questions feature. And next to the word questions, if you just hit the plus sign, it opens up, and then you can type in your question in there, and then I will be able to see that. That is one way. The second way is on the GoToMeeting software, there's also a hand raising feature, which is more towards the top. There's a sidebar on the GoToMeeting software. If you just click on that and you have your microphone connected, I'll see that you've raised your hand, and I can just unmute you, and we can have a conversation like we're down at the coffee shop talk back and forth. So those are two different ways. And of course, if you want to remain anonymous, just say your first name and type your first name in the question feature, and we'll do it that way. Okay, so how to get approved for disability. With the strategy and the courses that we've had, as mentioned, we've been fortunate to get a lot of individuals approved for disability, and it really all evolves around the Social Security Disability mini course that we provide you, and which is up on our screen right now. It's the first item in the members area. And the mini course has two key components to it, which we call our strategy. One is that there's lessons down in the mini course that help you either apply or advance your case. And it starts with a get-orientated interview. And this covers all of the key questions that are commonly asked as people go through the disability approval process. And it's done in an interview and a conversation format with Jonathan Ginsberg, who is a well-respected Social Security disability attorney in Atlanta, Georgia, who has donated a lot of time to help us put together this effort. So you can find out, like, if you qualify, get a pretty good idea which specific conditions count, how to find the paperwork, the exact wording to use, key things like that. As you get into the courses, starting in section 1, if you're still working and applying for disability, you should definitely check out item 1A. How to get your application started is 1B, which is helpful. And I'm not going to go through all these, but I just want to point out a few things. Item 1C is pretty much a stop for everybody on the disability approval process. There's forms that you need to fill out for Social Security that are called a function report, that they ask you questions about, what you do around the house on a daily basis. Do you prepare meals? Do you drive? Do you grocery shop? That type of stuff. And it's really important how you answer those questions. It could make or break your case. And also questions about your work history. So how we deliver these courses and how they can help you is, this is a video down here with Carl Osterhout, who is up here. He's in Pittsburgh, and he goes through form by form, just like you sitting in your living room in a conversation with me, and we show you for each question what to say and what to do. Folks, this is just like having the answers to the test. It's priceless information. So if you're in the early phases of applying for disability and you have not done this yet, definitely take advantage of learning how to fill out those forms. Okay, so, and then going down through the course, there's other lessons in there that help you if you're interested in hiring a representative to get approved for your disability, how to survive the wait, what to do at a hearing, so on and so forth. The other key component is you have access to a Social Security advocate that works here at the Disability Digest. That is a free resource to help you get your questions answered, to help you find the resources that you're going to need to get your disability benefits approved, help you understand your options for applying, and they'll help you get your application story straight, how to communicate what you need to say and how you need to say it to get your disability benefits approved. Now, here's how an advocate works. As of today, they're all individuals that are on disability that have been through the process. Most of them have used our disability approval process to get their benefits. And so they understand our system and how it works, and you can call them. And you can get their phone number and give them a phone call. Spend 15, 20 minutes on the phone with them, and it'll make a world of difference and an impact on your case. So they'll walk you through those 4 things. To contact your advocate, just fill in this form right here, your first name, email, phone number, and answer the 2 questions, and they will contact you. So to recap our strategy, go through the mini course, understand how to use it to apply or advance your case. Speak with your advocate, help them get your story straight, and make up your mind as to, how you want to go forward based on where you're at in your case right now. Those are the fundamental steps that has helped our 11,000 plus people get approved. So with that said, I want to start taking some questions from those of you in the group. Now, once again, to ask questions, you can, 1, raise your hand on the GoToMeeting software. So to do that, just go over to the software that's running on your computer, and there's a hand raising feature that's on a little sidebar, if you will, that's on the GoToMeeting software. And then that will give us the ability to speak back and forth. Or go to the question feature that if you scroll down on the GoToMeeting software and click the plus button right next to where it says questions, you can type in your question. Okay, so I see that there's some questions already flowing in. Okay. So Bernadette has a question here. It says, how do I speed up the appeal process? I appealed in May. Okay, Bernadette, what would help me help you there is I want to understand what you're appealing. So let's work on it this way. The initial application, if you filed and then that initial application was denied, and then you appealed it, that would be your reconsideration phase. That's your first level of appeal, which doesn't exist in 10 states, and I don't know where you live. So if that's what you're appealing, let me know. If it's reconsideration, you can just type recon. If it's a hearing that you went to and you were denied, then just type in hearing. And then that would help me understand, give you some directions. Okay. Okay, great. Thanks for the prompt reply. You're good at this. Okay, so you're in New York City and you were denied the first time, so you filed reconsideration paperwork, and you haven't heard yet, or let me think, is New York a state where there's, I don't think there is reconsideration. I believe what you're doing in New York is that you go direct to a hearing. That's one of the states that it skips it. So, okay, great. Waiting for a court date. Perfect. Okay, so if you haven't received a court date yet, it's difficult to influence the speed of getting a court date. The exceptions to that are if you are going to be homeless because you don't have your disability payments, especially if you have children. That is certainly something that you can leverage. And how you would leverage that is you would contact your representative, government official. There's no, that is one way to do it. We've got some tips on that for you that we can certainly provide. And so that's one thing that you can do. The other thing that you can do you have a Social Security disability representative working on your case? Okay. You can ask them if you qualify for a dire need for a hearing. And I'm going to pull it up on our screen. It's one of the courses here that we have. Okay, it's 4B. And the 4B in the mini course. So this will walk you through, and A lot of representatives don't want to do it because it's extra work, but you can, read through this, see if you qualify, and if you do, then, have a go at that. Now, I just put that direct link in the chat feature. So if you go to the chat feature on the GoToMeeting software and you see that blue link and you just click on it, it'll pop up on your side on your computer, so you'll have it at the end of the presentation here today. Okay, so you typed in yes. Yes, you think you qualify? Okay. So here's the other thing that you can do. Let's say that contacting a government official doesn't work, and to contact a government official and you need directions for that, just contact support at the Disability Digest, and I just typed in support at in the chat feature as a reminder, support at thedisabilitydigest.com. So let's say that you have a hearing date that is scheduled. Here's the next opportunity for you to speed up the approval process. And okay, if you have that date, then you can go to your disability representative and you say, listen, I would like for you to file a brief, a hearing brief, in hopes that I can get my hearing date moved up or an on-the-record decision. So an on-the-record decision works like this. This nice little 4 or 5 page hearing comes in and it explains why you're disabled, and the judge that's been assigned to your case reads it and he goes, oh, I don't need to see Bernadette in court. She's totally qualifies. And so that case gets put through. So ask them to go forward and do the brief for the hearing and to send you a copy of it so that you have it. Okay? So those are some tips for you. Great question. All right, let's see what else we have. And Bernadette, if I didn't cover everything, then let me know. One moment, I'm just reading another question here. Okay, Carrie, you also said that you're in the later stages of an appeal. When you say later stages, could you answer the question in the same way that Bernadette did? Like, oh, you've got more down here. Okay. Oh boy. So Carrie writes, I have proof that my attorney dropped the ball on my first application, had to reapply. This changed my back pay date 16 months. Yikes. Can I sue the attorney for negligence? You know what? I don't know. I've never been asked that question. I've got an idea where you could go to find that out, though. Yeah, that's could be like $20,000 to $25,000 in back benefits that you missed out on. Oh, that's too bad. Okay, so the first place that I would go to check this out, Carrie, and I want you to follow my screen here, is I'm going to go into the members area again. And in the members area, I'm going to scroll down to the bottom to section 8. And in section 8 is this wonderful resource that everybody should make themselves familiar with. It's called Centers for Independent Living. I'll put the direct link in, just like I did for Bernadette in the chat here. So legal aid is where I would suggest that you start. You would call up the local Center for Independent Living. Let me back up a little bit. Centers for Independent Living are organizations that exist in any nook and cranny in the United States and even here in rural Vermont. And they're organizations that provide services to elderly and disabled people going through the disability approval process. So I would get a short, concise 2 or 3 sentence statement, call them up, explain what happened, ask them if they have advice for anybody that you could speak to for free legal aid, to see if there's some viability to have, this case pursuit. I would definitely do that. Watch the video at the top here so you'll understand where to find your Center for Independent Living. I'll just give you a quick crash course. I just clicked on this link on the bottom. There's a directory that goes into all states. Like I'm in Vermont here, and when you click on it, it shows you, with the bubbles here, and then where the centers are, and then if you come on down, you'll see the exact addresses. Yeah. I would start there. Maybe there's in your local community, there's other attorneys that you could bounce the idea off. I don't know. I mean, it's a great question. I'd actually be curious to find out what you find out. So if you just reply to the email that sent you here and say, I want to let Brian know about this, forward it to him, that would be awesome. That's too bad. So are you going to change representation, Carrie? What are you going to do about that? Okay. All right. Oh, I see. Social Security sending you proof. Okay. All right. So I've got another question here. What factors do the SSI take into consideration for fibro? All right. This is a good question. And I'm going to address it specifically for your fibromyalgia, but also as kind of a general question, because I read the questions that individuals had that attended here today. And a lot of them were like, do I have emphysema and some other condition, do I qualify? So here's my general point, and that'll be more specific to fibromyalgia, Sheila. For Social Security, is the general criteria to get approved is that you need to have a condition or conditions that you have been diagnosed for, that you're being treated for, that prevent you from doing any job in the United States 5 days a week, 40 hours a week, even a greeter at a grocery store or a ticket taker at a movie theater. Now, when you're over 50, it's a little more lenient. It's more based on the work that you've done in the past. So somebody could have fibromyalgia, but just because they have fibromyalgia, it doesn't mean that they would qualify for disability. It's based on the severity of it. All right, so that's one thing to consider. So with fibromyalgia, there is a pain point test that is one of the factors for Social Security disability, and it's the intensity of the pain in those 6 areas, I believe it's 6 areas on the pain point test, that determine, is one determining factor if you qualify for disability with fibromyalgia. So a rheumatologist commonly conducts those. The second thing to consider is with fibromyalgia, and there's other conditions like Lyme's disease and lupus and any really autoimmune type condition, is they commonly come with other side conditions. And when you're going through the disability approval process, it's important that you have all conditions that are impacting your ability to work be treated. So that could be commonly depression. I mean, who would like to be out of work and feel like they've got the flu 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which is commonly what fibromyalgia patients have. It's just depressing. So, it's one of the side effects, or IBS or restless leg syndrome. Those are also other ones. So when you add all of those in, it may not be fibromyalgia that is intense enough to have you qualify for disability. It could be the combination of all of those that don't allow you to, sit for more than 10 minutes or stand for more than 15 minutes. Okay? Gave you kind of a long-winded answer to that, but it's a good question. All right, I'm just seeing if I have missed any questions here. You have been a great group, and certainly will answer any more if there are. Let me just check here. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right. If there's any last questions, you can just either raise your hand on the GoToMeeting software or type them in. I'll take one last look before we leave. But few things is oh, okay. Before I get on to that, Carrie, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Thanks for
You might
attending.
hear my dog.
Well, I think you heard my dog, so we're even. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your dog's name?
Timber, 110-pound German Shepherd.
Your dog is bigger than my dog. I can tell by the bark.
He's bigger than me.
How can I help you?
Okay, my question was, does the examiner have any pull in the decision making?
Yes, they do.
Ah.
So here's how you can manage that, though. One of the things we've commonly seen, and when we say examiner, folks, if you haven't been to an exam and you're in the application process, it's likely that you will. So what happens is somebody, Social Security will send you to one of their doctors, if you will, to go through and do an exam on you. They have physical exams and they also have mental health exams. So that's what we're talking about here. So have you been for your exam?
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Oh.
I'm talking about the guy that gets all of your paperwork together, and that's what I was told that he's called, is an examiner.
Oh, okay. So I know an examiner term to be somebody else. I know that to be the caseworker. Yeah, they can, but they operate within guidelines, and it's their interpretation of your medical records and how well they're reviewed. So I'm going to say yeah. Yeah, they do. Here's why I say that. If there's two identical cases, and one is put in the system in New York and the other one is put in Massachusetts, for example, one might get approved and the other one might not. Because there is the human discretion factor there.
So it pays to suck up to them.
Well, it pays to get them all of the information that they need. Here's some of the key steps for getting an initial application approved. First of all, you're here. Second one is follow the steps that I gave you, talk to your advocate, go through the mini course. And when you're presenting the information, make sure that they have all the medical records that you are being treated for. Make sure that those are in the file. And make sure that you answer the questions in the initial application. If you do it yourself online, make sure that you answer those questions consistent with the messages that's in the mini course, because what a lot of people do that gets their case stuck, and the average approval time is 3.3 years, and it's not necessary to be that long for a lot of people, is they just list their conditions. They're not educated and they haven't been through a mini course, and they don't understand that you need to list the reasons, like your impairments, right? So when they ask you, so for example, where I'm going with this, Carrie, is a common thing that happens is somebody, if you ask them why they can't work 5 days a week, 40 hours a week, they'll say, well, I have fibromyalgia, IBS, and depression. Great. Not great, but unfortunate. But that doesn't address the question. The real thing that Social Security is looking for is answers like, well, gosh, I've got conditions that don't allow me to sit for more than 10 minutes or stand for more than 15 minutes, and I have challenges sleeping, and so my sleep schedule is erratic, and I can't remember repetitive tasks, and gosh, if I had to do a sink full of dishes for me and my husband, I'd have to do the plates first, take a break, do the cups first. That type of language is what is necessary to be put into an application so that they can understand the limitations on that you have why you can't work. So sucking up, yeah, but I would rather, the most important thing is getting it right. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah. Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. Because even if you get it right and you don't get approved, if your case goes to a hearing, I mean, it's going to be an easy case to just have the judge look at it, or you stand a shot for an on-the-record decision like I explained with Bernadette, because he's just going to look at it and say, well, this information's been in here since the beginning. It's no-brainer. Yeah. Great.
Well, I'll still call him an examiner. He was really great with me on the phone the other day and explained a lot to me that my attorney should have.
Mm-hmm.
I've not even seen my attorney in over a year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm dealing with her girls, and that's all. And so he was able to explain a lot to me that I just didn't know.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's a difficult situation for attorney and non-attorney representatives. And I say this in this way because I feel that they don't intentionally ignore people, but they don't set the expectations as clearly as they could or should. And here's an example. If somebody applies for disability in California, for example, it may take them 12 months before they hear anything on their initial application. Well, there's not a lot you can do after the application is in the system. Very little, actually. You can add additional evidence, but it's pretty much in. It's just in the decision process. So the need to be intimately involved and in continuous correspondence with an attorney or non-attorney representative in that instance, there's not much you can do. It's the same thing if somebody has applied for a hearing. It's average of 14 months to wait for a hearing. Once that's done and before you have a hearing date, there's a few things that can be done, like I explained earlier, but the need to be in contact with an attorney any more than like 30 or 45 days, this is just my take. It's just, there's not much that can be done. Yeah. Good questions, though. Anything else? Did I lose you, Carrie? Did your dog bite you?
No, I'm just trying to decide which question to ask next.
Oh, okay. All
It's
right.
not that I don't have any, it's just that I got thousands.
Okay. Well, take your time. I'll be here for a moment. What I do want to say to everybody else while you're collecting your thoughts is this. You know, as we wind down and wrap up here, I appreciate you folks coming out here and placing your trust in the Disability Digest, the Fibromyalgia Digest team to help you provide this information to get your benefits approved. And we wish you speedy approval. If you do, my favor and my request to you is this. Everything's free here. We're supported by sponsors, revenue that we generate from things that don't cost you anything, like Social Security Administration, Medicare, etc. This allows you to have a free membership like a radio or TV station. So here is my point, my plea, my request. If you like what you heard here today or found value in this and the membership, we would really appreciate it if you'd spread the word and tell some people to come over to the Disability Digest or to the Fibromyalgia Digest and get a membership. And the reason for that is this. One, we can help them out. I know that. We've done it successfully for years. Two, it's free. And the more members we have, the more sponsorship dollars we can attract. And the more dollars we attract, the better services that we can provide you. Events like this, don't cost you anything. And in addition to that, the more people we can put back to work. So those are the two things that we work hard day in and day out to do. So again, if you do like what you hear, we'd really appreciate it. Okay, Carrie, good time for one, maybe two more questions. You have them lined up for me?
I do. Okay, I'm 58 years old. I've worked hard all of my life, a very steady source of employment. Will that help me? I tried to stress that in my answers. Of course, now I didn't have you to go to when I was filling all this stuff out, but that was one thing that I did try to stress, that I've worked hard all of my life, and now I just can't do it. Will that help me?
Absolutely will. Your work history is a critical piece to getting approved. Your work history, how long you were on your job, especially if you were on it for like 15 years or more, is a key ingredient. Yeah. Yeah. So what type of work were you doing?
When I was in corporate, I was upper management with a bank, Nations Bank. It's now Bank of America.
Mm-hmm.
I was in regional.
Okay.
And I went to entrepreneurship and had two very, very successful businesses.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now I can't do anything.
Do you have a college? Do you have a college degree?
Do what?
Do you have a college degree?
No, sir.
Yeah.
Actually, I was a multi-millionaire on a high school education at one point.
Oh, I love it.
Now, not so much. The economy went, belly dive, and
yeah,
husband took the rest.
Yeah. Well, here's my message to you and others that are going through this process about work, money. I won't talk about love today. We'll save that for another one. But a lot of people go into this thinking that, they're going to toss in the towel and they're not going to work anymore. They can't work anymore. And that may be the case for some people. It may very well be. But I encourage everybody, even when you're going through the application process, to think about what you're going to do with your time now and your time when you're approved, because you can work and keep your benefits. We've got all the courses that show you how much you can make to keep your benefits, and you can make, $790 a month and not do a thing. And you can make a little bit more if you want to organize and, create a corporation, etc. So you can do stuff like that. But two things. The money is not always it. Certainly it's helpful, but I feel it is healthy for people to contribute. It helps them with their condition, with their outlook on life, and you can still be a positive contributing factor. And, I've done interviews with like Peg Ball, who's in a wheelchair, and, limited mobility, maybe 2 hours a day of energy. Michelle Toole, who we've interviewed, same thing. She worked her way out of an hour and a half of energy a day off of her benefits by building healthyholisticliving.com. Andy Leap, another great example. He's created business after business and puts people in business. And so just keep that in mind, that some amazing things can be done if you put your mind to it. And we'd love to help you and be part of it in some way, shape, or form. So, yeah. Okay, you have another question for me? One last one?
Okay, I got another one. I had to swallow my pride and apply for Medicaid, and I did get approved for Medicaid.
Mm-hmm.
No anything. And I have been told that will help my disability case. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it helps it for a variety of reasons. I mean, if you can be on good, consistent treatment right now, which is probably the biggest thing that, in my opinion, will help. So, yeah. Yeah, great. Well, keep us posted on your progress, Carrie. Yeah. So,
Especially with the attorney, huh?
Pardon me?
Especially with the attorney, huh?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to get interesting.
Yeah, it is. So I don't know how. Just thinking that through, it's not clear how that would work. But please let me know. Yeah.
How did you want me to explain it to you? I can send you an email or I can call
Yeah,
Sharon.
reply to the invite that brought you here and just say, please forward this to Brian per his request. And if it might end up in my assistant's inbox, and she's very good um, about doing that, or support at the Disability Digest, either or.
Okay.
Yeah. Good. So, all right, great. Well, listen, this event today has been recorded. If you missed some of it, part of it, or want to share it with somebody, then you can go to our blog, and the blog is in the members area that I've talked about several times, and it usually takes about 24 hours or so to get up there, and then have a listen, have a re-listen. So I wish you all well. Appreciate you again being members and attending today. Thanks again. Make it a great day, everybody.